Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new to my channel, hello, my name is Gabby, and today's video I am pretty excited about because I've been requested to do this video quite a few times, and I was obviously all for it because, as most of you guys know, I love old Hollywood. Today's video is going to be about insane scandals from the early years of Hollywood that would literally have TMZ like, damn. Yes, on the outside, Hollywood looked like a place of glitz and glamour and fame and elegance, but on the inside, behind the scenes, it was filled with secrets that many people did not want known to the public. So with that being said, here are three... What's going on? Okay, I can deal with this. Here are three insane scandals of old Hollywood. The first scandal that I'm going to be talking about is nothing short of heartbreaking, and that is the cruel mistreatment of Judy Garland. Judy Garland was born Frances Ethel Gum on June 10th, 1922 in Grand Rapids, Minnesota. At the young age of 13, she auditioned for Louis B. Mayer, co-founder of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, or MGM Studios, one of the biggest Hollywood studios still to this day. By the age of 17, Judy's most popular film, The Wizard of Oz, was recently released, but the young star had not only developed a name for herself, but also an addiction. The studio expected her to diet, nearly starving herself, pumping her up with amphetamines and barbiturates, and making her work sometimes 18 hours a day with the help of pep pills and adrenaline shots. They knew that Judy was a moneymaker, but they made her feel like an ugly duckling compared to all the other actresses of the studio. Louis B. Mayer would degrade her almost daily. His most common phrase towards her was calling her "my little hunchback," and made sexual advances at her often. When she married her first husband, David Rose, he was surprised to find out that because of the studio, her daily diet consisted of soup, diet pills, black coffee, and up to 80 cigarettes a day. And on occasion, the studio would send over someone to make sure she was keeping up to this regimen. When Judy got pregnant in 1942, she was forced to have an abortion. Her studio claimed it would ruin her good girl image. In April of 1947, during the filming of the movie The Pirate, she had a mental breakdown, and in July, she had her first suicide attempt, later saying, "I wanted to black out the future as well as the past. I wanted to hurt myself and everyone who had hurt me." She left MGM in 1950 after 15 years at the studio, but the torture she endured there stayed with her for her entire life, having long-lasting addictions, insomnia, mental health issues, and eating disorders. She continued her acting career, even winning a Golden Globe for her performance in A Star is Born in 1954. But in her later years, she made many television appearances and was a huge success on the stage, saying, "I was always lonesome. The only time I felt accepted or wanted was when I was on stage performing. I guess the stage was my only friend, the only place where I could feel comfortable. It was the only place where I felt equal and safe." On June 22nd, 1969, at the age of 47 years old, Judy Garland was found dead in her Chelsea, London home due to an accidental overdose of barbiturates. In the words of Judy Garland herself, "I tried my damnedest to believe in that rainbow that I tried to get over, but I couldn't. I just couldn't." Judy ranks among the American Film Institute's top 10 greatest female stars of classic American cinema. She truly was an example of talent, but she was also, unfortunately, an example of the dark side of Hollywood. The next scandal is one that I briefly talked about in the last one that I talked about, and that is forced abortions. Now, no matter what your opinion of abortion is, it should never be something that is forced upon somebody, and that is unfortunately something that was all too common back then. One anonymous actress said, "Abortion was our form of birth control." Just like much in today's time, the choice of what these women did with their bodies were mostly determined by wealthy men who were head of their studios. Most young starlets were transformed overnight from young girls to over-sexualized women, brainwashed into thinking they basically catered to men's desires. The studios were filled with beautiful young men and women, and relationships were bound to happen eventually between co-stars and with directors, and a lot of unplanned pregnancies occurred. Whether they were married or not, the studios wanted them to continue their image and thought a pregnancy would ruin that. And while the procedure was being done, they would tell the public these women were in the hospital for a completely different reason. They wanted to keep the abortions a secret as best as possible. In the 1930s, Jean Harlow became pregnant to a man she was under MGM contract not to marry because they claimed marriage would ruin her blonde bombshell status. Not long after, she entered Good Shepherd Hospital to, quote, get some rest. When singer and actress Jeanette MacDonald found out she was pregnant in the year 1935, she was told to get rid of the problem. And then she checked into a hospital for what the public was told to be an ear infection. Both famous rivals, Joan Crawford and Bette Davis, had abortions. Joan knew that she grew up poor and refused to go back to that. And Bette was the breadwinner of the house, and she couldn't afford to lose her career. In 1941, when Lana Turner became pregnant, the studio paid for her abortion and deducted it out of her salary. The procedure was done in a hotel room with no anesthesia, was not done properly, and she was in agonizing pain for days afterwards. The most tragic of all, though, has to be Lupe Velez. Having a child while unmarried was extremely looked down upon, and Lupe became pregnant in 1944 to a man named Harold Raymond who wouldn't marry her. Lupe was a devoted Catholic and told her friend actress Estelle Taylor the night before that she would rather die than have an abortion. So she downed 75 Seconal tablets and a glass of brandy, leaving behind a suicide note that read, "To Harold, may God forgive you, and me too, but I prefer to take my life away and our babies before I bring him with shame or killing him." The women of these studios had very little power. A lot of these stories surfaced in later years when these actresses would write their autobiographies, telling of their horrible experiences that left them only wondering how their life could have turned out if they weren't so controlled at the time. So we've covered some pretty gruesome secrets so far, and I guess the only one that's left is one of the worst of all: murder. Thomas H. Ince was the first film tycoon, creating the first motion picture studio called Inceville, and revolutionized the motion picture industry by introducing a system of filmmaking called the assembly line system, which is still used today. He is known as the father of the Western and created over 800 films during his career. On November 19th, 1924, he died to what was ruled as heart failure. But there are speculations all these years that it may have been something much more tragic. Not long after his birthday in 1924, he joined many people, including Marion Davis, Charlie Chaplin, and newspaper mogul William Randolph Hearst on Hearst's yacht. He was greeted by Marion on November 16th to set sail on what was thought to be a good trip with friends, but things took a turn for the worst. During the trip, it is said Ince consumed salted almonds and champagne, something that he was not supposed to have because he had a peptic ulcer. He was hospitalized for what the public was told to be indigestion. He passed away a few days later. Though it was said to be heart failure and failing health due to an automobile accident 2 years earlier, the Wednesday morning Los Angeles Times paper front cover read, "Movie producer shot on Hearst's yacht." The rumor spread like wildfire. It is said that William Randolph Hearst suspected Charlie Chaplin was having an affair with his mistress Marion Davis, and he tried to shoot him but shot Thomas instead, mistaking him for Charlie. Charlie's chauffeur and bodyguard, Terechi Kono, told his wife that he witnessed Thomas being put into the stretcher, claiming he saw him bleeding from a bullet wound from his head, and this soon spread among Beverly Hills, adding fuel to the fire. But at the funeral, his casket was open for 1 hour for family and friends to view the body one more time before saying goodbye, and it is said that there was no bullet wound of any sort to be seen. William told newspapers years later when asked about the event that he was innocent and so was everyone else. Thomas's wife, an actress named Eleanor K. Ince, also said she never thought the rumors were true, saying, "Do you think I would have done nothing if I even suspected that my husband had been victim of foul play on anyone's part?" Unfortunately, Thomas is more known in today's time for the gossip surrounding his death than the actual contributions that he made to the film industry, even resulting in a 2001 film called The Cat's Meow, all about the infamous boat trip. So I hope that you guys enjoyed that video, and as always, all sources to where I got my information will be linked down below if you want to go check that out and learn any more about what I talked about in today's video. Old Hollywood, though very beautiful on the outside, holds a lot of mysteries, and if you enjoyed that video and want me to do another one, definitely let me know down in the comments because there are so many scandals for me to talk about. Also, if you're not already, definitely make sure to subscribe. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys. This is freaking awesome.